Hi guys, it's Donna from Donna's Creative Space back with another holiday video in my series for 2022. Today I'm going to be making a money card holder and an envelope for it out of designer series paper. So here's one I can show you. I'm going to show you how to make this envelope and the money holder that will go inside it. So I've got a few right here. See the pretty candy cane paper and the money holder. This could fit a check, money. You could put a gift card in here, and you can just go ahead and stamp something up here. But you want to leave a little bit of room for all the money that you're going to put in for your family or friend. All right, so that is one. Look at the gnomes. Aren't they cute? If you're going to mail it, you might want to put a label on it so you have something to write on. Okay, so let's get started. I do want to mention, so this is being recorded. It is, as I'm recording this, because I will be away vending at a scrapbook event during my Facebook Live on Friday the 18th. So I'm going to have this scheduled to go out tomorrow at noontime. So today's the 17th, so you will be seeing this on the 18th, but there's still time left to get my card class to go, which is the framed florets and framed and festive. And I used this stamp set I'm using today for one of these sentiments, and it also used this stamp set, framed florets. So this is going to be in the new mini catalog, but this is only available while supplies last, and I believe just for the month of November. So I like this set because nice big bold sentiments. So if you like this set, you'll want to jump on it. And the designer paper that used on these cards, that is also only available for a limited while supplies last. The little gold swirls that I used on this one, I have these all wrapped because I'm bringing this to the vending event. This is my display, but can you see those little swirly gold things? They're already gone, so they went fast. But anyway, so these are the two sets I used for this card class to go. You can shop with me through the 20th of November and use this host code. Make sure you use the host code so that I know that you want the card kit. And you'll get a kit to make these 4 cards, 2 of each design. I'll do all the die cutting except for where you have to stamp first. So see these flowers? You'll have to stamp and color them and then cut them out. You could use scissors, but if you have the dies that go with it, which are right here, the dies, cut them out. You can't, I can show you the other sheet of dies is right behind it. There's the other dies with the flowers that get cut out. All right, and again, here and here, these 3 cards, I will be giving you the white paper so that you can stamp and then color and cut them out. All right, and I did use, let's see, I used Balmy Blue and I used Polished Pink for the Stampin' Blends markers, and I also used, a Real Red to color these berries in, because these berries come white. You could leave them white if you don't have the red Stampin' Blend, and you can color these whatever color you want. I just did it to match my file. I also colored this bow. This is our white crinkle. It's kind of squished in there because it's in plastic right now, but it's our white crinkle ribbon, and you'll get it white. And you can color it with your Polished Pink Stampin' Blend if you would like. You don't have to. You can leave it white. All right, so those are the 2 stamp sets that I'm using for this class. And the ink, navy, real red. I think that's it, navy and real red. If you're not on my email list, this is where you find out all my information for classes and specials and stuff. So go to my blog, donnascreativespace.com, and up in the corner you'll see a button that you can click on and just send me your email address. It's that easy. All right, but if you're watching this on Facebook, go ahead and say hello, comment, say hi. I won't, like I said, I'm not doing this live, but I do go back and read the comments if you have any questions. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and click subscribe, and you'll be notified when I have new posted videos. Okay, so let me put this aside. And like I said, we are using this stamp set. I am going to use the 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly out of it. It's a nice big stamp set. I mean, a nice big stamp. And let's get started. So what you'll need to make the envelope, we'll make the envelope first. So we need a piece of 12 by 12 designer paper. You can use any designer paper, really. I showed you the samples, so you could use any of them, any designer paper. And I know we all are scrapbookers and card makers, and we have a ton of designer paper. Now, if you have a directional print like this, I think I'm going to go a little bit higher on my camera just so that I can get the whole piece in. Let's see if that is any better. That's a little better. Okay, so if your piece is directional, our first cut, we're going to cut 8.5 inches. But if your piece is directional, you'll want to turn it sideways for this first cut. All right, so we're starting with the 12 by 12, and we're going to cut it 8.5 inches. We want to end up with 8.5 by 11, so I'm going to line up my 8.5. Let me see if I can get this down in the image area. I'm going to line up 8.5 over here. And you see I had to open up my extension arm, so hopefully your trimmer has an extension on it. So go to 8.5, and we're going to slice that off. Save this because we are going to use it. All right, and then we want it 11 inches. So we are going to cut it down to 11 inches. So that takes off 1 inch, just like that. All right, so it's 8.5 by 11 right now. Now we're going to score in 2 spots. All right, so the first spot is going to be, I'm going to take off my blade just for a moment because I tend to grab the wrong tool on this bar here, because the light gray is the scoring tool and the darker gray is the blade, and sometimes I grab the wrong one. But all right, so let me start with the 8.5 inch side. So the shorter side goes back in the paper trimmer, and we are going to score it at 2.5. So 2.5 and 6.5. All right, so 2.5 and 6.5. Oh, slide it over to 6.5. Just like this. All right, 2.5 and 6.5. Okay, now when you're working with designer paper, it's a little thinner than cardstock, so don't press too hard with your scoring tool. Now you might be using your big scoring board, which I have one of those, but it's so much easier when I have both tools on this cutter. All right, so now I'm going to turn it sideways, the way I want to read it. Okay, and we are going to cut it. One moment. No, yep, that's the right side. I just had to measure something for a sec. For a minute, it looked a little bit big, but we're good. All right, so now on the long side, the 11 inch side, we're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch, and then we're going to slide it over to 9 3/4 of an inch. Okay, 3/4 by 9 3/4. All right, and I'm going to, before I put this away, I'm going to take this extra piece here and we're going to cut it down. All right, and we're going to cut it down just because I want to do it now while I remember. So we want to cut it down to 8.25 inches. Oh, I got to put my blade back on. I can't cut without it. Okay, so 8.5, and then I'm going to turn it sideways, and I'm going to cut it down to 3.25. So our final shape is 8.25 by 3.25. All right, this will be scrap, and this other piece you could save for something else. All right, so that's it for the envelope, and I'll have to pull that back out again. I'm going to move this up a little. I just want that there in case you decide you want to shop with me, because you can shop for anything you want. And there's a special going on right now. There's a sales special from the November 15th to November 18th. So it ends tomorrow. So you get 10% up to, I think it's up to 20%, 10, 15, 20% off on stuff from the items from the annual catalog, the 2022-2023 annual catalog. Stamps, punches, dies, embossing folders. So you can go right online and click on the sale and you'll see everything that's on sale. All right, so we have this piece. Now we do need one more piece, and this here, the ribbons are going, the design is going this way, but I don't mind. All right, so I'm going to use that. Oh, I forgot. I did want to trim that down. So this should also be 8 1/4. This is going to be like a bar across the center of our card. So it's going to be 8 1/4 by 3/4. So you could use a piece of cardstock coordinated the same color as our card base, because we do need cardstock for this. But right now we're just doing the envelope. So those are the two pieces that we're going to use to decorate our card. We will need one other piece of paper for it, but I'll show you when we get to the card. Okay, so we have our score lines, right? Here, 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 and here. You'll see you have 4 corners, right? Well, we wanna cut those out. I'm using these aren't Stampin' Up scissors. Everything is packed for my scrapbook weekend that I'm vending at. So everything's packed away. So I'm a little limited on what I can grab for tools, because all my favorite things are packed away. What we're going to do is we are going to cut off on the score line all 4 corners. All right, so just follow the score lines till they meet and cut off the corner. So there's one side. Now we're going to do the other side. This is the narrow side. And that off. And then this piece. All right. Oops, just like that. All right, so that's all scrap. Now you could save this. I might use that little one as a decoration. You can cut out something. I'll show you on the one I did already using this paper. I used this little ornament, and I just put it up on a dimensional to add to it. Okay, so now what we want to do is take your bone folder. I have a million bone folders, so I know I have extra, and we're gonna fold on the long sides, right? Fold and crease on the long sides. Then we're gonna fold and crease these shorter sides, just like that. Now, what you need is I want to round the corners of this. If you don't have a corner rounder, this is an old Stampin' Up corner rounder that they used to have. Mine doesn't seem to cut very well anymore because it's old. But I do have a, this is old. In fact, I've been making a bunch of these. So let me empty the little storage container. This is by another company, but you could get I think those crocodiles, I think they're called, or crocodile, I don't know. You can get one of those, but any corner rounder would do, and we're just going to round the corners. Now, if you don't have a corner rounder, you could just simply cut at an angle, all right? So I'm going to round these corners, and I've folded my 2 long pieces in because it's just easier to use my corner rounder. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to seal this up. So we're going to open it, because this is the side I want on the outside, and we're going to use our tear and tape. And, oh gosh, I hope I have enough because everything else is packed. Let me find it. Oh, here it is. And we're going to run the tear and tape along the inside edge of the wider, longer side. I will repeat that after I put this on. We want to run this tape on the inside edge of the wider. See, this is the narrower, this is the wider side. All right, because what we're going to do is we're going to overlap that. All right, so we want it on the longer side and the wider flap. All right, and then we're going to pull that up. I think even my Take Your Pick tool is packed. I'll just get my nail in there and pull that off. Close this up, and then close this up, and then seal it. Look at that. Cool, right? Now, on this end, when you fold this over, it may pucker a little just because we didn't wedge this, but that's okay. I don't want to wedge it. I like to let it pucker a little because it gives it a little bit more room for our card. I'm going to use liquid glue on this end, and a little goes a long way, so I'm just going to put a little bit. I'm using liquid glue rather than the tear and tape because I want this rounded corner to stay shut. Like I want the rounded edge to be sealed. All right, so we put the liquid glue on there and then we close it up. And I'm just going to hold it for a second, let the liquid glue set. And it dries. It doesn't dry fully, but it dries. If you hold it for a few seconds, it holds long enough. And there's our envelope, right? But once we want to give this to someone, we want to be able to seal it. So we're going to take a piece of tear and tape and put it across the top here. All right, but don't tear it on this one. Cut a nice clean edge to it, all right? Because if you decide, like I want to sell these at a craft fair that I'm doing, so I'm leaving the two edges nicely cut because I won't be sealing this. But if you put this in your card, you know, once we make the card, if you filled it with money and put it in here, then you can peel this off and seal it if you're sending it to somebody or handing it to somebody. If you are sending it, you will want to put a white label like I did on this cute gnome one. All right, that way you have a place to write from and the two down here. All right, so there's our envelope. Isn't that a cool way of making an envelope? Now let's make the money holder itself. So we have our two pieces, 3 1/4 by 8 1/4, and then we have this other piece is going to be my band going down the center. And it doesn't bother me that the design is going off at a different angle. What we want to start with is an 8 1/2 by 8 1/2 piece of cardstock. So this is an 8 1/2 by 11. So I'm going to cut it down to 8 1/2. Line up over here at 8 1/2, right? And I'm going to cut it. Now you could cut 3/4 from here and use that as a band, but I'm going to use the designer paper since I already have it. And we also need another piece of designer paper for to decorate the inside of the card. And I've been making so many of these. I've got a scrap of this paper here that I think will be really pretty on this. This is Sweet Sorbet, by the way. I was going to do Poppy Parade, but my Poppy Parade ink is packed away, so I'm using Sweet Sorbet ink for the stamps. All right, so I decided I might as well use the Sweet Sorbet cardstock, but I think this will look really pretty on the inside of this. Okay, so 8 1/2 by 11. We have to do some scoring on this, just 3 score lines. I think I can remember not to use my blade for this. So on your card base, you're going to score at 3 1/2. Sorry, 3 1/2, 3 1/2, and then 7. So I have to open up the extension, slide this over to 7. Come on, 3 1/2 by 7. Right? I mean 3 1/2 and 7. And then we can get rid of this again. And I am going to crease this. I'm going to fold the short side up like this. And crease that. And the wider side is going to fold down. Crease that. And then, all right, so that's nicely creased. So this piece that we cut, this was 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. This is going to go on the front here, but I want to do a little wrap of a ribbon. So I'm going to first take this 3/4 by 8 1/4, and I am going to put some adhesive on the back, and I'm going to put this down the center of this piece. Doesn't have to be exact, so I'm just eyeballing it. I'm going to turn it this way. Sometimes it's easier for me to eyeball. Maybe I can eyeball sideways better, huh? Just like that. Oops. Come on. I should have my grid paper out. That would help. All right, and then I'm going to take some of this organdy, the glitter organdy ribbon, and I am going to cut a piece. I would say it's got to be that this base piece is 8 1/4, so this has got to be about 9 1/2, 10 inches. And I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive here and here to catch the end of my ribbon. And then I'm going to put my ribbon back down. So I'm kind of doing a fake, I'm going to make it look like I wrapped a ribbon around and tied a bow. All right, so this is going to go down straight across. Now, sometimes what I like to do on the back here, usually this will hold the ribbon in place, but I just like to take a piece of Scotch tape if I have it handy, and oops, and just add to it. It just helps a little bit. And then I'm going to put adhesive on the back of this whole piece, because now I can, once I got that ribbon on there, I can put this down the front of my card. Just like this. All right. So that ribbon is definitely going to hold there because it's got both the Scotch tape and the adhesive. Now on the inside here, let's see, maybe, what do you guys think? Do you think I should do this? I have to trim it down. Do you think I should do this or this? I mean, you're not going to see the same color. I'm trying to decide. I like this. I think I like this. So I'm going to cut this down to 1 1/4. Let me think. Let me just remeasure that. Yep, I just wanted to make sure. This is going to be 8 1/4 by 1 1/4. So I'm going to go across 8 1/4. And like I said, you can use any designer paper that you want. I'm using this one because I happen to have a scrap laying around. I like to use what I can. So this is going to go on the, oh, no, that doesn't go. But the green looks nice because, see, the green matches this green ornament, so that's why I thought this would go well. And it was a scrap. I just love using up my scraps. I don't know about you guys, but it always feels good. And I love being able to use a big piece of designer paper to make the envelope for this. We all have so much designer paper. It feels good to use it for stuff. So we're going to center that right down. So that's 1 1/4 by 8 1/4. Now we're going to, you can take your liquid glue or you can use your tear and tape, which I lost it for a moment. It was hiding. So I'm going to take some tear and tape and I'm going to put it right along the edge here. There's one thing that we want to do to this. It's not mandatory, but it's just a nice little touch. If you get a small, this is a 1 3/8 inch circle punch. If you get a small circle punch, it's kind of nice to just, you could measure or you could eyeball, but I'm going to, oops, cut off just a little piece. I didn't go all the way down, maybe like a 1/4 or a 1/3 into the circle. It just gives it like a place to pull your finger out, but it's not necessary. You don't have to. Oh, we also need a piece of white that is 3 by 8 1/4. Now you could go 3 1/4 by 8 1/4 and match the front, but you really don't need to. So why bother? So you don't need that extra 1/4 inch because it's going to be hidden in that little pocket that we are creating. Oh, sorry, I'm out of the image area. Have you guys been catching all my holiday video series? I don't know whether this is number 3 or 4. No, it's definitely not 3. I don't know whether it's number 4 or 5. But I've been doing some video series. Made a shadow box. We made a Santa Claus is coming to town. Paper pumpkin card. We made a cinch top box. A little pinch top box. What was number 2? I can't remember what another one was. But anyway. So we put the white in first, and if you want to, this is where you can write your sentiment to somebody. If you do want to stamp like Merry Christmas or something, maybe put your money in to see what's available for white space, because you don't want to cover up your sentiment with your money. All right, so I'm going to peel these up, and you could use, like I said, liquid glue. Just put it on the very edge. Don't go all the way through, and then just glue it down, and there you have that little pocket, right? And then we have the front. So we just need to make a tag. Now what I've done ahead of time, of course, if I can find it, I had a, oh, here it is. I think this is it. I had a 2 1/2 inch. Yes, that's it. This is the pink, the Sweet Sorbet 2 1/2 inch punch or die cut. And then we need to stamp our sentiment. So I am going to grab a piece of scrap paper. And we've got our 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly. I'm pretty sure this is going to fit in that punch. Yes, I did. I used this on another one, didn't I? Let me see. Yep, I did. It definitely fits because I used it already. All right, so I'm going to stamp this. Ooh, this is a juicy pad. I hope it doesn't get too bubbly. Oh, it came out perfect. I love when that happens. All right, that's stamped. I'm going to take the decorative circle punch. Now, at the time of this video being recorded, the sale is going on, the November sale, the seasonal sale, because today's the 17th. This is on sale, and it's regularly $19, and it's right now at $17.10. So it's a great shape. It's a great shape. That's all I can say. It's great. You could cut your colored cardstock out of it, and then make a small white circle for your stamped image or sentiment, or you can do the bigger circle and put this on like I am doing. So I've got the color in a big circle, a larger circle, and then I cut the sentiment out. It adds a little different type of decoration. So you could, like I said, you could have the inside circle and the outside the decorative circle with the little swirly majigs. All right, so we want to put this on with dimensionals, and I had some around. Here they are. And then I also have to make a bow, so I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. Press them down. Oh, I missed my take your pick tool. My little thumbnail is getting a workout. And this is going to go right in the center like this. And now I'm going to make a bow. Now you could put your bow wherever you'd like. This one I put on the side. This was really pretty. This was using the Sweet Christmas, I think it's called, or Sweetest Christmas paper, the candy cane paper. And I put the bow on the rest of them. I've been putting the bow on the bottom. So let's make a bow. And I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail, make my first loop, come around, go through that hole there, make another loop and pull it through. It's so hard. Oh, let me do it again. It's so hard when I try to explain it. Loop around, hold it, push the other loop through the inside of that hole and pull it. Oh my goodness. It is difficult to explain it while you're making one. So I'm going to pull it tight and then just kind of adjust your little loops however long you'd make, however big you want it, right? So I think that's a little too big, so I'm going to pull it a little tighter and just adjust them, right? Now I want to pull it kind of sideways. I don't want them going up too high. Oh, I think that looks good. All right. So then I've done it on my spool. That way I don't waste too much. And depending on how much you left over here is what you have. So that's all I have for waste, which is pretty good. A little over an inch. All right, and now I need a glue dot. Do you think that I have glue dots around? Oh my goodness, I think they're all packed. This is crazy, Donna. All right, so what I am going to do for now, I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive, very little tiny thing of adhesive, and that'll work. Right? Very cute. And then, of course, I need to bling it up. So let me see. What do I want to bling it up with? It's very cute. I wish, let's see. I don't have any of my red. I don't have my red with me, but you know what? No, that's not good. Let me see. Let me find something. Okay, I don't have my red rhinestones at my fingertips, so I'm just going to color some pearls because I happen to have my, this is light cherry cobbler, but I think that will do because I'm shooting for, oh, do I have my sweet sorbet? Yeah, let me get my sweet sorbet. That way it'll match. So here's my dark sweet sorbet, and I'm going to color a few of these pearls. Let me get in the image area for you guys. Did you know you could color our pearls? This way you can color them any color that we have out of these. You gotta use the alcohol markers. These are the Stampin' Blends. Maybe I'll just color one more. All right. Perfect. So everything will match. Sweet Sorbet ink, Sweet Sorbet ink, Sweet Sorbet paper, and now Sweet Sorbet pearls. And let's see, well, let me see if I can use these scissors to pick them up. I'm so out of my, oh, that worked. I'm so out of my element without all my little tools in front of me. But I decided I should tape this, record this. So there's no tape. I should record this before I leave for my trip. Oh, there's all like sparkles on there. I think that's good. I mean, while I have these, I might as well put them somewhere. So let me, oh, it jumped. Let me put one here. And one over here. You could, I'm gonna put it down below. Come on, baby. Oh, God, goodness gracious. I don't like using, I love my paper snips. I gotta make sure next time I pull those out before I pack everything up. Now, you could, if you wanted to, you could take, like my other card. Oops, that's not it. I had a scrap piece around. You could take an ornament and trim a little ornament, and I put that up instead of some bling. So that's it. Now here we have our envelope, and you see it fits right inside. Just be careful with your bow when you go to put it in. Just like that. And then if you were going to mail this, you just peel that off and seal it. Otherwise, you put it under the tree. You could even tie. Yeah, let's do that. Just, even though I don't have any money in here, I'll show you what it would look like. Just take your ribbon, your matching ribbon, and we'll make a nice pretty bow for this. Look at that. There we have it. So we have a bow and we have our card inside. So I will take it out so you can see it. Isn't that a great trick to use your, it's not a trick, but isn't that a great way to use up your designer paper? So I hope you enjoyed this video series. And I'll be back again before the holidays with another couple of videos. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you'll get notified when I do more videos. And make sure you're on my email list. That way you get notified of sales or my card classes, or just, you know, sometimes I have a tip I want to share with you. All right, folks, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this holiday craft, making a cute little easy money holder. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye-bye.